Today we are going to do section 7.6. 7.6. Marcel, would you hit one on lights, please? Section 7.6. And it's on applying the sine and the cosine ratios. So far, the only one we've done is the trig ratio. So now we're going to do the other two. So today, section 7.6. Apply the sine and cosine ratios. Ariel, move tables, please. Alright, so just a quick review. As I go through, please name it off. S stands for? Sine. Okay, very good. Remember to do these problems just as a quick refresher. Highlight your angle that you're looking for. Label your other sides. So what is it? What is the 29 going to be? Opposite. Thank you, Leonel. Raise your hand. Opposite. What is the x going to be, George? We already got the opposite. What's the x? Adjacent. And that leaves the last one must be what, Leslie? The hypotenuse. Okay? To set these up, what am I given here? I'm given an adjacent and an opposite. Consult with your chief. Go back to your chief over here. Which one is it going to be? Which one has both an adjacent and an opposite? Gloria? The tangent. The TOA. So we say the tangent of, what goes in parentheses? 43. The angle, yes, 43 degrees here, equals the opposite over the adjacent, the 29 over x.
And
Cross multiply, 29 equals x times tangent 43. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 thank you. Divide both sides, cancels, and then plug it into your calculator. 29 over tangent 43 degrees, which is approximately 31.0. Look at your...
I got 27.
Can you check your answer?
Check your rounding.
29 divided by tangent 43?
31.
It should be bigger than 29.
31. Yes?
Should be bigger than...
31.
31 is correct, I think. Is your calculator in degrees?
It's 31.0. Oh, yeah. Or 31.1.
Who got 29?
Hold on. I got 31.
Who got 29?
It's 31.
Everybody good with 31?
Yeah. No, 31.1.
It's okay.
09. And 31.1. It's 31.
Today we're going to talk about the sine and the cosine. Alright, the sine and the cosine. Ariel, I ask you to move. Can you move to the other table, please? The sine is defined as, if you look back over at SOHCAHTOA, what's it going to be? What over what? Raise your hand, please, Jason. Opposite over hypotenuse. Alright? So if I ask for the sine of angle A, we do the same process as we did for the tangent. So we highlight our angle A, and we find the opposite, the hypotenuse, and the adjacent, which is already labeled for us here. So the sine is opposite over hypotenuse. What's my opposite in this case? Jason, please. BC over, and my adjacent is Tareen. CA or AC, doesn't matter, yep. So, opposite, adjacent. Notice that we ignore the hypotenuse. Sorry, I didn't want it, Jason. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on tangent. Alright, we wanted the sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse. So Terry and I touch up there, so let me fix it. What's my hypotenuse instead? BA. Okay? So opposite over hypotenuse. Remember SOHCAHTOA. If we look at the other one, I want the sine of B. It's the opposite over the hypotenuse again. Julian, what's the opposite? What's the opposite? Julian? Yeah. What was it? I didn't hear you. CA? How do you know it's CA? Because it says opposite, yes. What does opposite mean if we're looking at a triangle? Marshall? Across. So directly across from Julian. What is my hypotenuse here? Maria? Can you see that back there? BA, yep. BA is my hypotenuse. Can you see that from back there? Okay. So, just like we did for the tangent, we're going to do the same thing for the sine. The only thing that's changed is which sides we're looking at. Okay? Clear? Okay. Sin, it stands for sine, and it's a trigonometric ratio. We'll talk about it a little bit when we get to circles. Talk about it a lot more in pre-calc. I can tell you more about it after class, but for now, just leave it aside.
Okay.
All right. The cosine, then, cosine is defined as what over what? Alicia? Good. Adjacent over hypotenuse, and you figured that out how, Alicia? Yeah, the cut part in SOHCAHTOA. So I want the cosine of angle A. So I'm going to highlight angle A here. What is the adjacent side? Lon?
Would it be
Need two letters for a side. What is it? CA or AC. Over, it goes over the hypotenuse, which is what, Nicole? BA. Yep, BA. Alright, the second one, Evelyn, cosine of B. Sorry, yep, that's what I want. Cosine of B is the adjacent.
The adjacent is BC.
BC, very good. Over the hypotenuse, which is, Brian, the hypotenuse. What's that? BA, thank you. Alright, so that's all we're doing for now, okay? Just getting you used to picking out the adjacent, the opposite, and the hypotenuse, okay? Nothing's changed from tangent, except now we have different sides that we care about. Marshall?
Well, you have tangent A, there's only like, 1 over 2. If we have tangent B, so 1 has to use
Because, it's a good question. So because we were looking at these two, and remember they flipped for the tangent, whenever we looked at the opposite angle, the opposite and the adjacent switch. In this case, it's not true because the hypotenuse does not switch. It's the same for both pictures. So you're always going to get the same hypotenuse in the denominator, and your numerator is the only part that's going to change if you look at the different angles. Okay. Oops. All right. So some simple examples. Cosine of S, sine of R. So what should I do here? Let's do cosine of S first. I'll do cosine of S in red. Alicia?
Right.
Okay, so you mean SOHCAHTOA or you mean?
Yeah.
So SOHCAHTOA?
No, not that. I'm
You don't want this. Alright, so you already know it. So if you need to write SOHCAHTOA, that's fine. But she knows that the cosine is already the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Okay? Cosine of what? 18 is that a side or an angle for 18? A side. And what always goes in the parentheses? An angle.
An angle.
So
This would be 90.
so if we look back here, my angle was cosine A. Is it okay to leave it as just a letter? Do I need a number?
No.
No. So let's look once again. Cosine of S. What do I need to put in here?
Cosine of S.
Yeah. Cosine of S. And highlight angle S. So everybody highlight angle S then on your picture. Excuse me. Because that's what it's defined as. The trig ratios always compare the ratios between angles and their sides. So we always have.
So you're just trying to find that.
Yeah, that's what I have. We're taking baby steps. It's going to get harder. So highlight S. What do I recommend you do to the triangle at this point? Marshall? Mark it how? Quiet, please. I'm sorry? Y adjacent. So what does adjacent mean? If Ernest and I are adjacent, what does that mean? We're side by side. Is 80 touch the S, angle S? 18 is adjacent, good. What does that make 80 then? You're stuck on the last section when we talked about special triangles. It is opposite. You're stuck on the last section where we talked about long leg, short leg, and hypotenuse. And those are still true, but in this case, when we're talking about trig functions, we only care about whether they're adjacent, opposite, or hypotenuse. And then the last side is hypotenuse. Good. And then we just set it up. So the cosine of S is what over what? Oh, Leslie? 18 over 82. So you grab the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Any questions with this problem? Any questions with this problem?
How do you find the opposite?
Adjacent means next to. So this side is next to angle S.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Opposite means across the triangle. It's on the opposite side. The next one in green, I'll do it really quickly here. Angle R, let's highlight it. So I'm doing sine in green. Which one's the opposite now? Good. Which one's your adjacent now?
80. No, wait. Huh? 80.
Which one?
Wait, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right?
Sine is
Opposite over hypotenuse.
No.
So it'd be 18 over 18.
18 over, I'm sorry, 18 over 82, yeah. So this is your adjacent, and this is your hypotenuse still, so it doesn't change. So Ernest, can you put this together then? The sine of R is going to be what? Sorry, I need to help you out. What's the definition of sine first? Ask Ernest, please. Yes. Thank you, A&L. So what do I need to do then?
Oh, I thought you were
80 over 18? Why did you get 80?
Oh, sorry. 18 over 80.
Okay. 18 over 82. So Marcel, your question from earlier, why are these the same? Here they are the same, but we switched the trig function and we also switched the angle. Okay? Do this one on your own. Yep.
Are they always going to be the same but flip?
No, not necessarily. That just happens.
Because we use the same triangle with the same. Okay.
Usually for one triangle only and not once.
This is the same thing as the other one, right?
Huh?
Same thing as the other one?
Yes. So highlight your angle. Highlight your angle, label your sides. And then consult your chief. What do you feel? You're finished to do the first one?
All right. On the board?
Yes, please.
You know. Don't you?
And do it again. Relabel. So I asked for now I ask for sine of this. Do that. Can't do that. Okay? What's that? Cosine is 1 over what? Okay. Need to so highlight your angle. Can somebody do Devon, can you do the next one? Ernest, I get to do the next one after this, okay? So, we got this angle, right?
No, they're not all.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the other side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so remember, please, remember to identify your sides. Remember to identify your sides. When I'm walking around, I see a lot of people trying to skip that. And those people are much more likely to make the mistakes. So please, highlight your angle and then label them. Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Anthony? You in? Okay? Now, we're going to solve one of these now using the numbers in your calculators. Alright? So I'll lead you through this one, and then the next one's going to be on your own. In this case, I'm giving you the 50 degrees. Okay? So, let's write, what's my chief's name?
So,
How do I spell it?
SOHCAHTOA.
Okay? And label your sides. What is the 8 going to be, Brian? Why? What does adjacent mean? What did I do earlier with Ernest? I'm sorry? What does adjacent mean? The side. Is 50 degrees next to the 8?
No.
No. So what would the 8 be instead? The opposite? What would the n be, Brian? I disagree. Why? N. N as in Nancy. Why? Because it's crossing the right angle. And that leaves what for M? Adjacent. Okay, when we solve these, we can only pick one at a time. We can't pick both variables at the same time, because otherwise we'd have one equation with two variables. So we need to use the 8. Right? Would you guys rather solve for M or N first?
N.
N, whatever. I heard everything.
X.
Julian, which would you prefer? M. We're going to solve for M first. So if you look at M and 8, which two sides have I given you? Yes, we need to work on raising our hands, please. All right. Opposite and adjacent. Consult your sheet. Which one has opposite and adjacent? Darren? TOA. See the opposite and adjacent? So therefore, what are we going to use for my trig function? Which one? Tangent. Ernest, can you set this up for me? The tangent of, what goes in parentheses? 50 what? Degrees, good. Equals? M over 8. Why'd you do M over 8?
No, because you're 20
Ah, but it goes in order here. So tangent is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So do you want to fix this thing? 8 over M. Good. You guys can solve that, so I'm not going to go into it. Okay? So do you want to solve that real quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can spit your gum out, and then you can wait for answers to come back. Marshall?
No, we're not
Hang
there.
on.
Okay.
For your side.
Second.
Can't you do the Pythagorean theorem? Or no?
Could you do that?
No. What if you got the M?
Then you could do it. Not route. No.
Alright.
Julian?
So you have to make this M correct.
Correct? I just want the answer, though. Do you have the answer? Why not? Come on, do it. Let's go. You know? M equals 6.7. Ladies and gentlemen, check your answer. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Why or why not? Raise your hands, please. Ernest.
Because 7 is bigger than 6, you have to round
7 is bigger than 6, so you have to round up. You're talking about my answer right here?
Yes.
Not quite, no. 6.7 is just a number. We already rounded once we got it from our calculator. I was looking for something else here. Mauricio?
Because M looks a little bit smaller than the 8.
Guys, quietly. Hang on. No. Oh, I'm Mauricio. Wait your turn. Mauricio?
Because the side M looks a little bit smaller than 8.
Yeah. M looks a little bit smaller than 8. And so it makes sense, okay? If you got something like 19, it wouldn't be correct. Okay? The other one then, if I want to solve for N, use N and the 8 again, so I have opposite and hypotenuse. Consult your sheet. Which one has opposite and hypotenuse, Jason? So which trig function do I use? Not sin.
Fine.
Sine.
Oh.
So how do I set it up? Sine of 50 degrees equals, George? 8 over what? N. Thank you, as in Nancy, because we're looking at the sine now, which is... Can you solve that, please? 1 second, Rachel. Ariel, what's your answer? What's the answer? What's up? Trouble? Cool? What'd you get? 10.4? How many people got 10.4? How many people did not get 10.4 and then know where the mistake is from? Anybody?
Okay, so what did you do after that? Like, what you did after that? You did the top.
Put it over 1 and then you cross multiply.
Yeah, you did.
I'll come take a look.
Oh, I see.
Quietly, please do that problem. Quietly do that problem.
How much more?
Find a mistake.
I forgot to press.
I'm not. Yes.
Your homework from when you're missing? Or when you're missing? What are you doing? Put it away, please, alright? Put it on the table. Don't eat it. Cannot combine inside the radical, outside the radical. Combine.
Okay.
I can't talk about this right now, okay? I'm gonna be doing class work right now, okay? Go talk to me later, okay? Not right now. If you're absent, it's your job to get me, but now is a bad time. Right, before school, before class, after school. Hey guys, that's a Q, not a 9. A Q, not a 9. Alright. Q.
Is it has a degree on it already? Oh yeah, because it's our time. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Why did I say not choose P, Q at the same time? When you have two variables, you can't put on it. It's very important to use and you can these two. You can't fix both. Try again. So use the amount of Ladies and gentlemen, real quickly. All right. Highlight our angle. Highlight our angle. All right. The opposite side to it. We are still struggling at this. You need to know this. All right. You need to know this by now. Otherwise, you will not get any of these right. You need to be able to say the opposite side is across the triangle. 34 is the hypotenuse. Q is the adjacent. Okay. Why can I not choose the opposite and the adjacent here? Why would that be a very poor choice? Gloria? Because I have two variables. And I only have one equation. We can never solve that if there's two variables and only one equation. So only choose one at a time. I'll do green first. I'm going to choose the hypotenuse and Q. Okay? So look at what I have then. I write SOHCAHTOA down. I write SOHCAHTOA down. I have the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so I choose K. Does that make sense? And what is K? What trig function?
Cosine.
So the cosine, guys, it's distracting, it's annoying too. Wait until I call you, right? Cosine of 54 degrees equals, thank you. Cosine of 64 degrees equals Nicole? Q over 34? I agree. Can you guys stop it from there? Do I need to do that still, or are you okay from there? Put it over 1. Cross multiply. So Q equals 34 times cosine of 64 degrees. Alright, thanks. Stop. It's so annoying. I have to stop every 2 seconds. Q equals Anthony. It's okay. What does Q equal? 14.9. I would like at least 1 or 2 decimals. Okay? Julian. Yes. Then I'm going to do the other one in blue. I'm going to choose my opposite and my hypotenuse. Check with your chief. Which one is the opposite and the hypotenuse? Gloria. So, what trig function is that?
Sin.
What is it called?
Sine.
Sine.
Sine over.
Sine.
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 Equals.
Sine. Sine.
Oh. 34.
Sine
4.
of 64 degrees.
That's what I said.
That was weird. It didn't say though. Alright?
Okay.
Sine of 64 degrees.
Over P.
Is P the opposite over 34? I'm not going to do that one. What does P equal?
30.6.
What is it?
30.6.
30.6? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. 30.6. 30.6. What's it? Guys, I get so frustrated in this classroom. Please understand that. Please stop talking. Okay? Darren and then Ernest. Ernest? Here? Yep. Same thing. Yep. I'm going to do the same steps. I just didn't show it.
So if
You
you
know,
have
put this
like-
over
I
1,
know.
cross multiply.
I know, but like me multiply, you get 14 for that.
No, because it's going to be 34 times sine instead of 34 times cosine.
Oh. Even for YouTube.